Hey friends, my name's Connor Dibbin. I'm a fourth year medical student here at King's College London, living in the City of London. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the things I don't like about studying medicine. On the whole, studying medicine is fantastic. Like, it's such an interesting course. You meet such amazing people. Everyone is so driven. There are some great benefits, obviously, about the career that you get to end up in afterwards. And we're going to end up with a pretty well-paid, quite prestigious job at the end of it. I don't like to complain about medicine too much because I do love it. And it's definitely me having found my passion, found my calling, as cheesy as that sounds. However, today we're going to talk through 5 things which I don't like about studying medicine. And I think it's important that we give these a bit of air, and it's important that aspiring medical students, like those of you who are watching, understand that these are the realities of studying medicine. First thing is going to be the biggest one, and it's going to be the one that a lot of you medical students, current medical students, are going to listen and you're going to be like, yeah, I hate that. And it is being compared to others while constantly being told not to compare yourself to others. A bit of context here. When you graduate from medical school, you don't graduate with like a first or a 2-1, or you don't really graduate with a grade. In the UK, you graduate and you are ranked nationally across the whole UK against every single other medical student who graduates that year. It doesn't really matter your grade, it just matters how you did compared to everyone else. So it doesn't matter how good you are, it just matters how good you are compared to other people. Take that, and then at the same time constantly being told that you shouldn't be comparing your grades to other people's. You shouldn't be comparing how you're spending your time to other people. You shouldn't be comparing the experiences that you manage to get or don't manage to get in your clinical placements with other people, whether that's at your medical school or at other medical schools. We're constantly told that we should not be comparing ourselves to others. And obviously this is very true to a certain extent. You know, in order to have a good kind of opinion of yourself, it's good to just understand that you are an individual. It's good to understand that everyone has unique circumstances around whatever they manage to do or not manage to do. And it's important that you understand that you are a unique person and that you have managed to get where you are through a unique set of circumstances. But at the same time, it's also important to realise that you can learn from others, and part of the way you learn from others is comparing yourself to others, having a look at what they're doing, trying to copy if you can, that sort of thing. Point number 2 is being told by people inside or outside of medicine that you shouldn't be doing anything apart from medicine. Now, this seems to come from both sides. It definitely comes from people within and without medicine. And people have this idea that medicine needs to be your life. Medicine should become your personality. Definitely a trap I've fallen into. I am aware that I am currently making a YouTube channel for medical students while being a medical student and studying at medical school. So it does take up a large part of my life, but it's not my whole life. I have other interests outside. I have other things that I do. I've got friends and family who are not involved in medicine. I'm also perfectly capable of having a conversation with someone that doesn't revolve around one or both of us talking about medicine. In the application process to medical school, part of the kind of criteria is that someone is a well-rounded individual. It's this idea that a medical student applicant or an aspiring medical student should have a range of interests. They should have various things that they like to do. They should have some hobbies, maybe play some sports or play an instrument, that sort of thing. But once you're in medical school, it's quite hard to keep all of that up, but you need to keep something up because you need to have something else going on apart from medical school, or medical school becomes your life and then you do badly on an exam, you don't understand something and everything starts to break down a little bit. The third thing, which I don't like about medical school, is that there is this expectation that you should be studying for like 12 hours a day minimum. Studying for 12 hours a day is something that you do sometimes have to do. It is a reality of medical school. Okay, medical school, there's a lot of content and you need to study for it. And sometimes either you've left it too last minute or you have an upcoming exam and you do need to try and study for huge parts of the day. Studying for 12 hours sucks, okay? Like, it is so boring. No matter what you're studying, you could be studying the thing that you are so passionate about, but studying the same thing for 12 hours a day is so boring that almost no one can actually do it effectively. The other thing is that if you are a good medical student and you manage to attend lectures and you manage to keep up some level of work throughout the whole year, then you don't actually need to study for 12 hours. Generally, you can cover almost all of the content across the year and kind of keep reminding yourself by doing 2 at most 3 hours every single day. I definitely much more fall into that camp. I would much rather do little and often. So try and do it throughout the year, try and keep up my studying throughout the whole year. And in that way, you don't need to do these ridiculous marathon days. Point number 4 ties into that very closely, and is that when you do need to, or you do decide to study for 12 hours in a day, people expect that you should be finding it easy. So there seems to be this expectation that you should know how to study for 12 hours a day. You're a medical student, that is what you should be used to doing, and you should just be able to sit down and focus for 12 hours a day and not complain about it, not want to get up and do something else, not want to have a life. Studying for 12 hours sucks. Okay, studying for the full day, sitting on your butt in front of a computer for the full day is boring, it is painful on your backside, and it is just very hard to actually be efficiently putting information into your head for that long. Medical school is hard, and if you're finding it hard, you're not alone. And I think it's really toxic that there is this expectation that you should be finding medical school and studying for medical school easy or becoming used to it in some way. If you're a current medical student and you are struggling with your studying, make sure you check out my last few videos about how I have found different ways of studying effectively. And if you have any specific questions about anything study related or medical school related, always feel free to drop me a comment below or message me privately on something like Instagram or Twitter. I am thinking about running some tutorials or even maybe some kind of tweetorials over on Twitter, because I know that lots of medical students are going to be missing out on teaching because of the current announcement of the third lockdown. Point number 5 is a big one. It is that there are expectations when you become a medical student about how you should look, how you should behave. And I understand some of those. There is an amount of professionalism as a medical student that you need to uphold. You are going into a profession which is very public facing. You're going into a profession that is very prestigious and people look up to you a lot. And so I do understand that there is professionalism aspect of it. However, it gets taken too far. And what happens is it goes from having expectations about how you look and behave to there being expectations about where you come from, and expectations of your past and your personality and your behaviour outside of medical school, outside of medicine. In the UK, being a doctor is the single most inherited profession. So out of all of the professions, anything that you could do, it is most common that doctors are the ones where their parents have been doctors. I don't have anyone medical in my family. I went to a state primary school, state secondary school, state college. I got into an extended medical degree program, which is specifically for people who went to state schools that were underachieving, and so they didn't get the A levels that maybe they would have got otherwise. And still, there are expectations that I should kind of talk in a certain way, I should behave in a certain way. Studying medicine is not for everyone, okay? And what I mean by that is not everyone wants to study medicine, not everyone has the kind of internal drive or that particular type of academic thinking which you need to study medicine. But medicine is for everyone. We live in the UK. We have the National Health Service, which is for every single person in the country. So if we just have some kind of monotonous, single background, cookie cutter doctors, then that's not going to serve everyone. People need to see people and be treated by people and have doctors and people to look up to who are from backgrounds more similar to their own. At King's and other prestigious medical schools, there are lots and lots and lots. I mean, the vast majority of students are from privately educated backgrounds. They're from families where they have doctors or kind of other medical professions in their family, so they've got kind of direct access to that, and they're from a lot of money. There have been some amazing people coming out of the woodwork in the past year, really putting themselves out there and showing me and showing everyone that you don't need to pigeonhole yourself into this particular type of medical student who comes from a particular background. Just to call out some fantastic people who I watch a lot of their YouTube channels and I follow them on social media, and I'm friends with some of them personally. So we have Azal and Liddy, who have Journey to Med, and I'll link that up here. And they are a fantastic YouTube channel. They have amazing content and they just show that you are allowed to have a personality while also being in medical school. On that note, Faye has also got an amazing YouTube channel which really blown up in the last 6 months. And again, she just definitely shows that you don't need to fall into this kind of perfect Etonian box in order to be a medical student. Another awesome medical student on YouTube is my good friend Naomi. Naomi and her husband Jack are each having a year off of their respective courses of medicine and law to go and build their business while living in a house in Sweden. You should go and check out their channel. Black and Brown Skin is an initiative set up by Malone, which is raising awareness of the huge problem of medical textbooks portraying a single, often white, male patient which leads to the underrepresentation of huge parts of our society, which means healthcare is not as diverse as it should be. I can think of absolutely tons of medical students who are doing amazing things at King's, especially from the extended medical degree programme, so many that I wouldn't be able to name all of them on this video, so I'm going to show some of them up in here for you. You can check them out.